Yeah, that tree looks amazing. Hmm? That tree looks amazing. It looks like she's fixed it.
Okay, I think you're live. We're all set.
How do I know?
There you are. Hold on a second.
I can't see that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm super grateful to have the opportunity to share with you about the root chakra, which is the foundation to our being. When you understand and work with your chakras, and specifically your root chakra, you really have the opportunity to change your life. It's the most important work that you can do here on earth, I believe. So I'm going to start just by talking a little bit about myself. I've been practicing yoga for about 10 years now, and I've worked with several different certification courses, starting with Ashtanga, Shivananda, Kundalini, Anusara. I spent about a month out on the ashram in Grass Valley, California, studying Shivananda yoga, and that was the first time that I really dove into meditation. We meditated for like 30 minutes in the morning and in the evening, and I was hooked from that experience and have been meditating every day since then, and that was about 2004. I'm a meditation and a breathwork guide, and I've really dove into energy healing, experiencing a lot of different certifications with Reiki, Jikiden Reiki, Usui Reiki. I've studied Theta Healing, spent several years working with the Mystery School, Pranic Healing, and just really feel like everything that I've studied has led me to a greater understanding of myself, and specifically through the chakra system. So I'm really excited to share this with you tonight. For the last 7 years, I have owned Shine On Yoga, and up until August of this year, I had a yoga studio in downtown Orlando, and it's still a beautiful space. I loved working out of there, but I had a dream to be out in the country and have a retreat center, and I manifested that back in August. I moved out about 30 minutes east of the city. I have 5 acres on the Econlockhatchee River, and I offer yoga classes, teacher trainings, energy healing sessions. Here's some pictures of the center. It's a beautiful space. It's like a log cabin on stilts, and it has several platforms down below with a couple compostable toilets, great places for hammocks, an outdoor kitchen. It's a really beautiful space. So we're going to start out just by taking some time to really connect into ourselves. Maybe we've all come from the daily stresses of life, and if you haven't had the opportunity yet today to connect in more deeply to yourself and to your energy body, we're going to do that right now. So let's see, I'm going to show you here. How do I get myself on this? I know you can see me. Okay, so I don't know if you can see me or not. I hope so. Technical learning here tonight. So take a moment and let's just start by closing our eyes and getting really comfortable in your seat. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. And exhaling, opening your mouth and sighing. Each time we breathe in and exhaling out with a sigh, we get a little deeper, more deeply connected to our bodies, to releasing the day. Allowing the tension in your body to drop, just to let go and to be fully present here in this moment. So I want you to imagine now the area around the base of the spine, around the tailbone. This is the area of the root chakra. And the color associated mostly with this energy center is red. So you might imagine the color red, or really if there's another color coming to you, then that's perfectly fine. Just go with your intuition. Just imagine this energy center, this area of the body, not just in the physical body, but extending down beyond the legs into the earth. And see how far you can go down into the earth using your imagination. See if you can connect to the core of the earth. Just with your imagination, letting go of it having to be right. See how far down you can release. And as you connect to the earth's core, the earth's energy, I want you to inhale and begin to breathe that up. Breathe it up through your feet, through your legs, into your pelvis, and feel the energy there swirling around, maybe the color red. And then exhaling anything that is not in alignment with your life, maybe any energy that feels stagnant that you would like to bring into flow. Could be physical, maybe mental, emotional, anything you're working with. And just continue like that, inhaling, breathing up the energy from the earth, exhaling, releasing, letting go. Experiencing a sense of trust, a sense of stability, security, strong groundedness and foundation to the earth. And just take time now to find gratitude. Gratitude for all that you are in this moment, all that you have come from your past. And just find a nice sense of thankfulness here. And we're going to work just for about 30 seconds with a mantra. A mantra is an instrument of thought that is like creates a transformation. And for each of the chakras, there's a bija mantra. It's a seed mantra. And bija mantras contain pure potential within them. They don't have a specific meaning, but there's all this potential stored in these vibrations and these sounds. And the sound for the root chakra is lum, lum, lum. So if your eyes are not closed, go ahead and close them again, and let's just take a deep breath in and exhale with one more sigh. And inhale to begin. Lum, 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 lum. Lum, lum, lum. One more time. Lum, lum, lum. Take a couple more breaths and just feel the vibration of that sound swirling around at the base of the spine, connecting you to the earth. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I'm going to come back to the PowerPoint. So this slide is a picture of the chakras. And now that we're all a little bit more grounded, hopefully, we can really listen with our hearts rather than with our heads. That's where we all want to be tonight, is centered in our heart and connected to the earth and really open to receiving whatever is in store for your higher self, whatever is in store for you tonight. So this is just a basic image of these energy centers. And you'll see the root chakra is the red color. And that one goes down, mostly down into the earth, although they all go out everywhere, of course. And then the orange is the sacral chakra, which is around the sexual organ area. The yellow, solar plexus, around the base of the sternum. The green is in the heart. The light blue is the throat. The darker blue, the third eye, and the violet at the crown of the head. So we'll start with the root, or actually we'll start just by going over in general what the energy centers, what chakras are. I'm sure that you have a general idea, otherwise you wouldn't be here tonight, but just to give you a little bit more, chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel or an energy vortex. And they're located in the subtle body, but really they are multi-dimensional. There's aspects for each, the physical, the mental, emotional, and the spiritual bodies. And they're like hubs or stations that receive, assimilate, and transmit information. There's 7 major chakras and there's several minor chakras. And then there's energy channels that connect all these energy centers. And the channels are called nadis. And they interconnect, like I said. And there's something like 72,000 of these energetic highways or paths. Basically, they receive and information and output information. And I think that the chakras are one of the most important things that we can study. They are definitely a roadmap for self-discovery and self-realization. Yoga is often translated as union, as connection, togetherness. And there are many different ways in yoga and the different paths of yoga to realize ourself. And so studying the chakras is one way to really realize our true self. When these energy centers are balanced and harmonized, then we can really experience the union of opposites here on earth, which creates freedom in our lives. Today we're going to focus mostly on the psychological aspects, the mental, emotional aspects of the root chakra, because this is where I believe we as Westerners really need the most assistance. And this is definitely where I've needed the most assistance in my life. So we're gonna focus on this. In the future, we'll probably do a lot more with the physical and spiritual aspects. And when you look at chakra books and information that's out there, it's very interesting to know in the East. Obviously, they're focusing more on the spiritual aspects and nature of the chakras. In the West, most of the writing is focused on the psychological, mental, emotional aspects. And it makes sense given where we are today collectively in the West. We need that help. We need to understand how to bring our awareness inside, to get out of the external distractions and come into ourselves, come into our center, to see what's there and to explore what's there. So I experience the chakras as keys. They're like portals of information that allow us to tap in to refined levels of information, into greater levels of consciousness. And I see each chakra associated with a specific key. And as we master the specific key, we master an aspect of ourselves, of our life. And that provides a gift, a God-given gift that allows our energy and our lives to flow in a more harmonious way. And the root chakra key I call pure manifestation. It allows all of the divine energies to come down from the heavens, through the crown of the head, through all the chakras. And as it passes through a balanced root chakra, we're able to fully manifest all of our divine potential here on earth. And that's amazing. That's what we all want, is to be happy and to live our soul's purpose. And when we're not living our purpose, that's when we're really challenged in our life. We are stressed out. We are not able to cope with certain things. So really understanding and working with these tools and techniques in yoga can help us to fully manifest. One more time, it's good to keep saying, fully manifest all of our divine potential here on earth. So this is the root chakra yantra. And it's essentially a geometric diagram that you can see that aids in meditation. We won't talk about that much, but you could work with that. So the root chakra key, as I said, for me, I call it pure manifestation. And it's basically when this is balanced and harmonized, we feel deserving to be here. We know that we belong here, and that all the gifts of the earth, the physical gifts, the spiritual gifts, all of the gifts and the abundance, we have a right to. We are meant to thrive here, not just survive. It's it's essential to learn how to do this, to really thrive and live in communion with ourselves, with others, and this amazing earth. So really what is required is an innocent state of mind, an abundant state of mind. And children are our greatest example of this state of mind. They are pure, and they are rich in spirit. They're pure reflections of whatever they're around. They live in the moment, and they don't try to control their environment. This is key. You know, it's so easy to try to control all the details of our lives. And some of us can get pretty good at it. I got pretty good at it for a while. So we have to learn how to let go of control. That means letting go of fear. And that's the biggest challenge here, which we'll talk about in a minute. So in order to manifest, purely manifest all we desire here on earth, we need two things. We need our basic needs met, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? We have needs in all those departments. They all need to be met. And we need innocence in our mind. We need purity. And that really is allows us to connect fully to spirit and focus on the good and the beauty and the abundance, and to see all the challenging aspects of our life, to see them as opportunities to grow. So the challenges to the root chakra, it's our deep unconscious state of mind. And we can't see it too easy. It's unconscious. And so having learning how to let go, to uncondition, to heal all of the ideas that we have that are not in alignment with spirit, not in alignment to innocence, to purity, to abundance, to belonging here. All of those things, feeling like we're not worthy to receive energy, love, all of that we have to heal. We have to let go of our programming. And that is work. Studying the chakras on this path, on any path that's going to allow you to realize yourself, it takes effort. But what else is there to do here, really? You know, this is the work. And it's supported. There's a lot of people doing this work. So you're supported doing this. So fear, like I said, is the greatest challenge here. What we are afraid of, we attract. So we can learn in all things, relationships, health, wealth. We learn these, we attract them so we can learn from them, so we can move forward in a different way, change whatever needs to be changed. So let's talk about how to create pure manifestation in your life. As I said, self-examination and inner work is key. We have to dive into the depths of our unconscious. But since it's not conscious, it takes effort. We all know the things that we struggle with, and we have to look at them and engage with them in order to transform them. In order to attain freedom, we have to bring all these parts, these parts that we want to run and hide from sometimes, because that's sometimes what we do. Our nature, it's really against ourselves, but sometimes as humans we want to run from the dark. But instead we need to dance with the dark. We need to invite them in for tea and talk to them like we would talk to our friend who is challenged, who is struggling in their lives. You know, we sit across from our friends and we do this for them all the time. So we have to do that for ourselves so that we can bring these parts into the light, so that we can see them and stop running away from the things that we consider challenges, or sometimes even we write them off as like, oh, that was just bad luck or misfortune. The thing is that will only lead to continued suffering. It doesn't help us to further ourselves, consciously evolve. So when we see our challenges as beneficial learning opportunities, then we will grow spiritually. The tendency here in the root chakra, though, is to go into fear sometimes. And that's natural too, that's normal, you know? And when we go into that space and we have that fight or flight, obviously it doesn't bring us the outcome we want. So we have to do the work and to see how we're reacting or responding. If we're reacting, we can make a choice in that moment. Once we see the reaction, we can choose something different. So we have to full on engage with these things. Like I said, dance with them. Literally, it's good to dance with them. You know, the root chakra, all about connecting to the earth's energy. Dance, stomp your feet, connect to the earth, go outside. In our culture in the West, we're not out in nature enough. Like, we should be doing this all the time. Every single day, your feet should be in the earth. No less than an hour. It should really be way more than an hour. Imagine how we used to live all the time. Our feet were in the ground. And now we don't live like that. In fact, people will say, keep your shoes on to little kids. Come on, you know, we have to get into the earth. And this will help us. This will help us to have access to this energy and to trust in the energies of the earth, and to love and accept all parts of ourselves. And when we do that, then we can realize that the fear, it's just an illusion. It's not really a reality. And when we can really see a bigger picture, this is a key as well, seeing a bigger picture, that can help us to let go of the little fears. So I put together a 5-step process of how to create pure manifestation in your life. And I work with this all the time, actually, and I have for years. And I find it to be very, very powerful. And if you work with this, as well as the exercises that we've talked about, working with the Bija mantra, connecting to the earth, grounding yourself through exercises, meditation, connecting to the root chakra and the earth's energies, you will really make a big difference, big shifts in your life. So step 1 is to contemplate your thoughts, your words, and your actions, not with your head, but with your higher mind and your heart. So in order to do that, you know, you might need to exercise in order to get into your higher mind and your heart. It's not maybe just coming home from work and thinking more. It's like you have to do something first to ground your energy, to connect into the sensations in your body. Or if you know how to access your higher mind really easily, connect into that. And then to think about every interaction that you have in a day's time. This is the stuff to contemplate. This is your content. Every thought, every word, to even people at the grocery store or the bank, all these interactions, as well as close people to you. This is your content. So you're going to look at this and take note, because we are all reflections of each other. So for me, if I'm doing this all the time and I see man, there are a lot of people around me that are really angry. I need to look at what's going on inside of me. What anger am I, what's happening? You know, what's there? And I look at that and I sit with it and I take responsibility for it. Not in a judgmental, get down on myself way, feel bad way, but in a, wow, it's really fascinating to look at my reflection in the world. So self-examination, this is like the number one step, and it's the biggest step. Really taking note. You can write that out, you can contemplate it, just witness it as you go along in your day. And the second step is to let go of false ideas that are not in alignment with our true nature, which is divine and abundant. And we have, all of us, so many false ideas. The collective conscious, the collective unconscious has a lot of false ideas out there. So we need to see what those are. And we have to acknowledge them maybe, but ultimately we have to let them go. And to not let them define ourselves or our lives anymore. Step number 3 is to accept all of the past. That means no judgment. It's not about feeling bad about what happened or going over a conversation that happened with someone where, and you feel like shameful or guilty. Like, these things are a trap. This is more fear, and it keeps us in a box where we really can't allow our true self to be and to shine. It's some of the biggest things that come from the fear energy is a victim energy, a lack mentality, both of these. So when we go into those patterns, we have to see them. We have to stop them. Sometimes it's very easy to judge those things. We judge the judgment, and then we really spiral downwards. So we need to see that and stop it. We can't change the past, but we can contemplate and look forward and look towards a change for the future. Also here is to forgive. Forgive ourselves. Forgive others. Sometimes even if we feel like we don't need to forgive that person, they need to forgive us, then we really need to forgive ourselves. Really, the key is forgive ourselves for whatever it looks like, whatever it is. All past mistakes we have to forgive. Mistakes, it's not even it's the best word, but it's the way that we learn. That's what we're doing here on earth, is we're learning. There's no perfection. Self-realization is not perfection. So we have to let go, forgive. Mistakes are not bad. And the truth is, there is no bad and good. There's no duality like that. When we raise our energy up to the heart, we see it, like we realize that there's the oneness of everything. And these two sides of duality they both need to be transcended so that we can truly live in communion from our heart center. Step 4 is to create a new vision, right? So whatever it is that we're seeing, that we are challenged by or afraid of, or something is like we don't feel worthy to receive love. And honestly, that's most of us feel that way on some level. And we have to start to change that and to know that we deserve love. We are love. Right? So we create a new vision of that, of something like that, that we are love. And this new vision is a reality that celebrates the divine aspects of the self. We realize that all the things like fear and all that comes from that is not truth. It is not really real. It's funny to say, but it's not truth. When we go to the throat chakra, we realize the truth. Everything comes into clarity. And so actually the throat is purification. We purify, we realize that. So here we have to just trust. We trust that that the divine aspects of the self is who we really are. So these parts of us we can't really see too well, we don't want to see, we run from them, or are just really challenging, even if we want to look at them, right? And there's many of us who want to look at these things all the time, but yet it's still really hard. And it's just because these things are ingrained. You know, it's not just this life that we're working with, but lifetimes of content, lifetimes of living in confusion or fear, right? These seeds in the root chakra that are not in balance. They're not really able to grow true love, life force. They grow delusion and illusion. So we have to weed these out, and that's a process, right? And it's in yoga we liken it to like the peeling back of an onion. So these parts of us that are really deep-seated fear or challenges, it's not like just one time making a new choice and a new vision. Okay, this should work. Why isn't this working? No, it's you work all the time, every day. You continue to work on these things, and you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And really, that's the joy that comes. Those are those freedoms that we've been talking about. And once you experience that taste of a freedom, it's huge. The feeling of overcoming something like that or making a new choice. I remember in the beginning, it was like the whole world was celebrating for me when I made a new choice. It felt like that, you know, I was so supported. And I've been working on those things for years. And I will continue until I transition to another space and time, until I'm ready to move on from this planet. So this is what we're doing. And in yoga, we call these deep-seated patterns or habits samskaras. And often we liken them to like the grooves on a record. And you can't really change the record, but what you can do is fill in those grooves with something, right? So you fill them in with a new habit, a new response instead of a reaction. And you do it time and time and time again, and you refine yourself more and more and more. And you gain greater freedoms and greater consciousness, and you attract more things in resonance with where you are at that time, right? And you can experience these little freedoms very quickly. If you start working with this process and this information, you will see a change in a week. You could see a change in a day, right? It's powerful to look at ourselves and to make new choices. And then the last step here is to express it. Express this work that you're doing to other people. It's great to have a community around you that can support you. I remember in the beginning, though, for me, I didn't have a lot of people that were choosing to look at themselves, choosing to work on their inner self. And if that's the case for you, then seek that community out. There's a lot of people, meditation groups, yoga, Chinese medicine, alternative, holistic practitioners. They're everywhere now, and everybody's doing something in terms of classes, workshops, training. So they're all over. Seek people out who are taking responsibility for their lives. I mean, really, that's what I'm talking about here, and that's what I'll continue to talk about throughout the chakra series. Is we take responsibility, and in doing that, we become master creators. And I think that's the purpose here on earth, is to create our fullest potential here, to live in happiness. And that doesn't mean that there's not pain and there's not challenges, but it's how we look at them. So we have to use our third eye. And so you can see, as I talk about all these other chakras, when I'm talking about this root chakra, is they're all working together. It's not like we just work with the root and then we go up to the second and the third. It's not like that, right? We're able to work with all of these energy centers, and we have some kind of clarity in all of them. You know, we have an innate sense of our true nature. Of course, we have that. So all of these energy centers support that, right? So we work with the third eye, the witness consciousness, so that we can really work with these ideas. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So, moving along. So this is this 5-step process that I just know in my heart that this works. And if you put this into practice, you will experience some change, and positive change in your life. So just some final thoughts. Kind of maybe already said a lot of this, but in the beginning, you know, when you start working with the chakras or any system that helps you to realize your true self, your higher self, it can be scary or overwhelming to look at these parts of ourselves, the darkness or the shadow side. But as we start to bring this into light and experience the fruits, the freedoms that come as a result, then we really can propel ourselves with that joy, those freedoms that comes from doing this work. Like I said in the beginning, I believe this is the most important work we can do here on earth. As we begin to realize our true nature, which is abundance, bliss, joy, peace, contentment, all these divine qualities, life gets easier, it gets more enjoyable. It doesn't mean that we don't have pain, challenges, but it means that we are able to ride the waves. And we'll get into that in the second chakra. learning how to ride the waves of life, ride the waves of our emotions, energy in motion. The truth is, we all want happiness. The only way to true, sustained happiness is to accept all aspects of ourself and to bring the fragmented, separated parts of ourself into wholeness. Bring those parts that are the fear, the judgment, the anger, the things that we hold in our tissues. We have to love them. We bring them in, we invite them for tea, we accept them, we acknowledge them. That doesn't mean that we don't choose something different, but we have to realize that these parts that are fragmented, they came from a really scared little boy or a girl, or a part of us that felt very threatened and had to cope in some way. But now we're older, we don't have to do that anymore. We can choose something different. Fear separates, love unites. And we can start to really work with this information to bring more parts of ourselves into wholeness, into love. So, that's the root chakra in a nutshell. And we could talk about the root chakra for hours. That's just a small little piece of the mental, emotional aspect of this particular energy center. So your homework, because really this is where it's at. You know, you can take an hour of a webinar course and you can go sign off and go about your life the way that you're used to going about your life and not think about this again. And if you do that, God bless you. You know, I bless you and your path forward. But the other alternative is to every day be conscious of this information. Be conscious of yourself. Be conscious of your relationships. So I'm giving you some homework of doing the meditation, which I put a standing meditation here. And it should say seated because I was going to do standing and I changed it. And the rock and roll I changed too. But basically, I want you to just do a seated meditation, connect to your root chakra at the base of the spine, visualize, feel your energy connecting to the earth. You can trace the outline of each foot with your mind's eye, feel your connection to the earth. Trust in this connection. Breathe in, breathe out, connect to the earth. And the Bija mantra, which is LUM, L-A-M, but it's more pronounced L-U-M, LUM. And you can work with that mantra in addition to the 5-step process. And if you work with this every day, and it doesn't have to be long, you know, this work, it's like you can wake up in the morning and do 5 minutes, connecting in, feeling your groundedness, contemplate your dreams, right? And then in the evening, do the same thing. Do a little check-in, a meditation, connect to the earth, and go through the 5-step process and contemplate the rest of how your day unfolded, the interactions that you had, you know, your self-talk, what went on for you. Write it down. If there's some things you'd like to shift, make that conscious choice and keep working with it. So that's what I'm giving you for homework. So what's next? The next is, of course, the other 6 chakras. So we'll dive into a continuation of the sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra. And we'll do the same thing that this particular series is going to be focused on the mental emotional aspects of the chakra in a nutshell. And let's see. So I have the dates here. The next one will be January 22nd on the sacral chakra, and it has to do with flow. Like I said before, it's energy in motion, it's emotion. So we learn how to let go, ride the waves. Has a lot to do with relationships, how we are in relationship to other people, our creativity. So we'll really dive into that next time. And then the next is the solar plexus chakra, and this energy center has to do with focus, confidence, empowerment. Heart chakra, February 19th. And this is the seat of love and learning how to balance the individual will with divine will. It's an important thing to learn. The throat chakra, March 5th. And we talked a little bit about the throat. I mentioned it is all about purification, about truth, about communication, conscious communication. And the throat and the sacral chakra are very connected. So, well, we'll go into that later. I could go dive in and just keep talking about the chakras forever. The next one is the third eye chakra, and this is the seat of the master, your Satguru, your internal guru, the seat of wisdom, of knowledge, your intuition, your higher intuition, because we have intuition centers that are in the lower chakras as well, like your gut intuition, right? That is definitely intuition. The third eye chakra is more your higher intuition, and it's a very wise, our higher self. The crown chakra, April 2nd, has to do with our connectedness to supreme consciousness, to source energy, and to the oneness of all things. So we dive into all these chakras, and if you'd like to continue on this journey with me, which I really hope that you would like to stay and experience the remaining 6 chakras, and it's today we are doing a great discounted rate of only $97. And in addition to the entire course that we'll go through online, you'll receive a study guide for each of the chakras and a copy of the webinar, the live webinar that we just did. And I'm gonna start a Facebook group specifically for this chakra series, so that we're able to stay connected, and you can ask questions, give me feedback. I really am excited to be building a bigger online community. I've been doing work here locally for, like I said, 8 years with Shine on Yoga, and I'm just loving that I'm getting out and reaching a lot more people. So I want to stay in touch with you. I want to know what's going on, how you're doing in your lives, how are these techniques working, things like that. They work for me, so and the people that I teach here, but I want to hear from you. I know there's a lot of people all over the country. So if you would like to sign up today, you can go to the website shineon.life. And in addition to this course, I also offer private counseling phone sessions for an exchange of $75 an hour. And this is, if you're struggling or having a challenge, or you just need support. Like sometimes honestly, I always have support in my life. I work with different practitioners. It's just really, really helpful to go and receive sessions from other people and to have their support and to gain perspective, even if it's just energy perspective, having someone else in the room just to share with, just to sit and to discuss and express. This work that we do in yoga with the chakras, all of this can be very intense. And it's nice to have a guide. So if you would like me to support you in a bigger way, I would be honored and grateful to serve you in that way. And also I have a 200-hour yoga teacher training program coming up. If you're local in the area of Orlando or not too far away, I have a 200-hour training starting at the end of February, and it's at the retreat center. I showed you the pictures of at the beginning of the presentation. It's a beautiful space. I have actually a yoga teacher training currently going on. I'm in my 4th month, or we're in our 4th month. So I'm starting another one in February. I have it's actually a 15 to 20 person limit. So not a lot of room. If you're interested, let me know. It lasts 7 months, and we meet 1 weekend per month. And there's a lot of outside work as well. You do service projects, a lot of homework, a lot of reading. You start teaching right from the very first month. So if you're interested, let me know. You can hopefully connect with me via this website. Also, my email is amber@shineonyoga.com. I don't think I put that on here, but you should be able to access me very easily on this website. And one more time, just to give you those offers again, we have the webinar series for the whole chakra system for $97, which includes, the webinars and the handout, the information that I'll send to you, a Facebook connection, so you'll have a spiritual community right away to support you. Also have the one-on-one phone sessions for $75 and the yoga teacher training, and definitely I have more planned in the future, but for now these are my offerings, and I really hope that I continue to work with you. If you need anything, let me know. I'm so grateful that you shared this night with me. I know every hour, every minute is precious, and I really honor and acknowledge you, and thank you for being here. Namaste. Thank you.